Okay, we're live. Good evening, Concord Township, and welcome to the Concord Township Board of Trustees meeting for November 4th, 2020. I'm going to call the meeting to order. And if you can join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mrs. Dawson, the roll call, please.
Mrs. Lucci?
Present.
Mr. McIntosh?
Present.
Mr. Dondorfer?
Present. We will move into the approval of the minutes for the October 21st, 2020 regular trustee meeting.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the minutes as written for the October 21st, 2020 trustee meeting.
And I'm second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Moving on this evening to the elected officials report. And starting us off this evening is our fiscal officer, Amy Dawson.
Thank you, Mr. Dondorfer. As of October 31st, we are 83% of the way through the calendar year. The treasury balance for the 19 active funds within the township treasury was $7.2 million. The treasury balance includes approximately $780,000 in funds set aside for specific projects. We are still waiting for the Lake County engineer to approve the expenditures for the summer road projects. So that's the majority of that. The rest of that is COVID expenses, which the balance is rather high right now. I'm waiting for invoices for many of the COVID expenses. Year-to-date expenditures were 65% of the amount appropriated for 2020. The revenue received year-to-date is 92% of the amount budgeted. We will not be receiving real estate tax revenue again until the end of the first quarter 2021. So we will need to carry over a minimum of $3.5 million for first quarter expenses. In addition, I'd just like to say thank you to all of our supporters for the past several weeks and for supporting our fire department initiative. So certainly appreciate your help and assistance last couple of weeks. And if you have any financial questions or any financial facts, please do not hesitate to call our office at 354-7516. Not always at my desk. Please feel free to leave me a message and I'd be happy to return the call. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy. And moving into the trustees' reports, we'll start with Mrs. Lucci.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We had the pleasure of swearing in two new firefighters today, Mr. Hyle Squire and James Hawk. We appreciate their service and welcome them. I had the pleasure of doing the Halloween hunt last week. It was a very well-attended event. I think over 600 people. Lots of great costumes, both young and old. We survived the cold and the wind, but it was a wonderful event. Thank you to our recreation department and all those in administration that helped with the candy and putting all this together. Lots of good feedback. It was very well enjoyed, so thank you. Yesterday I did spend the entire day as a rover for the Lake County Board of Elections and the west end of the county, and I just want to say that I'm very impressed with how the board handles and prepares for this type of election, and kudos to the leadership there and for just everything they do to organize and make sure that these votes are accurate. And also they're very to new voters and people that maybe are not sure if they're registered or if they're at the right district, they're very welcoming and helping people feel that their vote really counts. So that was really nice to see. So I enjoyed that very much. We did our third Talk of the Township last week at the fire station, which went very well. Thank you, Rick, for your help, and Deborah. And last but not least, thank you, Concord. Thank you very much for supporting our first responders. We are so pleased that we are able to move forward and provide these facilities that are so in need of repair and changed and redone, and so deserving for what our first responders do. Appreciate everybody's hard work. We put a ton of heart and soul into this, so we're very excited to move forward. We will move forward in a very thoughtful way, be as transparent as possible, and as this unfolds, include everything that is important for everybody to know. So please reach out if you have any other questions, but thank you very much.
Thank you, Amy. Mr. McIntosh.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's been a fun couple weeks since we were together. We did have the Halloween hunt. That was a lot of fun. I got so many kudos from the community about it. So Deb, great job with the rec department. I know Tim Brown helped set some things up. It was just it was a hit. It was a lot of fun to do. It was a little chilly, wet, and windy at the end. That was a little challenging, but it was a great time. And if we keep that up, I think it'd be fun to do it again. But Talk of the Township, always enjoyable to get together and share with the community what's going on for those that don't tune into our meetings. So, been discussing water issues a lot. We've had a lot of heavy rains, been out in some yards lately. Took a lot of questions the last couple of weeks with issue 1, answered some questions about ballot language and so forth. And I also, with Mrs. Lucci, drove her again at the Lake County Board of Elections. I've been doing that since about 2006. One of the first things I did civically around in Lake County. This is my 4th presidential. I looked at that. It's a lot of fun. It is, you wake up in the morning and you think, oh, why am I doing this? But at the end of the day, when you're getting ready to close the polls and you've solved problems and you make sure the votes get counted and you're looking at, and you get to see people in the community, I enjoy being a trustee and doing that, but when you make sure that democracy happens, it's moving, it's a lot of fun, and I will do it as long as I am able. I had a great time doing it, and Amy's right. The Lake County Board of Elections does a phenomenal job. When I knew that we were going to have to go mail and do that, I had faith in the system. I mean, I've watched it work for so many years that we do a great job here in Lake County. That board does a fantastic job, and the volunteers that come out to the polls and work is it's class act, so it's great. Elections, yes, I want to thank our community. Issue 1, tremendous amount of support shown in this community, and as I've been saying all along, there's a lot of teamwork. I really want to thank the members in the community that came forward, helped us with this, the firefighters who got out there and helped campaign and volunteer for it. It was truly a team effort with everybody here in the township, between the trustees and folks. It was a difficult decision to do this year, and I know we all struggled with it. Making tough decisions is never an easy thing. I found a quote today, and I thought it was very appropriate, and it was from Teddy Roosevelt that said, "In any moment of decision, the best thing you can do is the right thing. The next best thing is the wrong thing, and the worst thing you can do is do nothing." And I really felt that resonated with me as far as this project, because I felt waiting was just going to defer something that was really important, although there were certainly challenges in going ahead this year with everything. And I think the pandemic underscored the importance of it. So I'm glad that we got that done. I'm looking forward to bringing this project to the township. I think it's something our community is going to be proud of, and I think it's an opportunity for the community to be involved with us as we get this done. So thank you, Concord. A lot of great things to look forward to in 21.
Well said, Morgan. Yes, I would also like to extend my sincere thanks to the Concord Township community for the approval of issue 1 so we could move forward with these fire stations. It really does mean everything to this board to have community backing for this project. It was a team effort. It was, despite the challenges that we see in 2020, we all did collectively feel it was the right thing to do, and it means a lot to have the backing of the community as we move forward with these stations. I mean, these stations are going to provide our first responders. It's going to respond, to their ability, or for our ability to, provide them with safe and healthy environments. And, not just for now, but for the foreseeable future of Concord Township. So, this is a huge initiative, and we really appreciate the support from the community. And moving forward, as we do move forward, I can assure the community that we will be prudent and responsible as we make decisions in moving these projects forward. So we're really excited about it, and thank you very much, Concord Township. I did get a lot of good feedback about the Halloween event. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it there. You guys look great in your costumes. Deborah Esker, again, does just a phenomenal job, and it was very well received from the community. I heard from a lot of people that went and thought it was excellent. So I did field a few calls about some water drainage issues, and we're working with the county and our service department on those. We're working on some other issues as far as some traffic signal issues and some speed issues within Concord Township resulting from some accidents in the township. I think our administrator will touch on. But again, thank you, Concord Township, and we really appreciate the support as we move forward with our fire station project. And thank you for everybody that participated in moving that forward. It was a great team effort. Moving on to department reports. We'll start off with our administrator, Andy Rose.
Thank you, Mr. Dondorfer, members of the board, Mrs. Dawson, members of the audience, good evening. Just a couple of quick things. Last meeting I covered the speed study that's being done on Girdled. As a reminder, that's about a 90-day process, so that'll be ongoing for a little while. I doubled back last week with the county engineer's office. Last Friday I spoke with them regarding the intersection of Prouty and Morley. The engineer's office informs me that they've already contracted with a consultant who is working to redesign the signals to improve safety at that intersection. They don't have a timeline for that project yet. The consultant's going to come up, the way I understand it, they're surveying the area and then they're going to come up with some options on how to re-signalize that intersection, and then the decisions will be made, and then they'll move forward once they get the options selected and then costs. The only other thing I have tonight, my report is short. The only other thing I have tonight is I would like to echo the elected officials. I would like to thank the citizens of Concord Township for their vote and support. That concludes my report. I'm happy to answer any questions. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Rose. Chief Sabo with the fire department news.
Hello, everyone.
Good evening.
So for the month of October, we had a total of 214 incidents, including 152 EMS events with 118 transports to local hospitals. We had 4 fire events. We had 1 garage fire in Concord and 3 structure fires outside of Concord. We gave mutual aid to our neighbors 16 times and received mutual aid 12 times. Our Fire Prevention Bureau finished 30 fire inspections, accounting for about 45 hours, including 17 past inspections, 7 passed with comments, and 9 pending. They completed 1 plan review and attended about 10 hours of continuing education for their certifications. In the public education side, October's a busy month for us. Typically, that's when we're out in the schools doing fire education for the kids. They completed fire prevention education to all the elementary schools and preschools in Concord Township. This year, with the COVID precautions, the program was offered via 3 methods. And this was all established before the school season even started. The fire prevention officers were out with the students, or with the staff and teachers at the schools. There was a standard in-person visit with the fire engine and with all COVID-19 precautions. Since this started, we have not allowed any guests or visitors on our squads or engines, but they can see it from a distance. They also offered a virtual program with fire prevention handouts carrying safety messages that were distributed by school personnel and teachers. And then there was a third option of a total virtual program in a virtual classroom with no contact for at-home learners. So we think we did a really good job at targeting and accommodating all different areas of learning amongst COVID. So we had, for the month of October, in terms of in-person visits, we engaged with 262 children and 30 adults. The virtual with handouts, 1,100 children and 93 adults, and 266 children participated in the virtual at home. So it was a good model to follow and try to reach out to our young ones for Fire Prevention Month. On behalf of Concord Township firefighters, all the firefighters, we want to extend our thanks to Concord community. We are so happy with the support that we've received over the last several months, culminating in a success last night. We're very thankful to the Concord community. This Board of Trustees, Mrs. Dawson, Mr. Rose, the department heads of Concord Township have been phenomenal through this whole process. And I gotta thank too, there's so many people in the Concord community that don't work for Concord that just stepped up and really showed a lot of support through different means, not just in voting and supporting the issue, but through, helping us with lit drops and doing all kinds of different things, helping us knock on doors. And I personally want to thank the firefighters. They were phenomenal. I am so proud to be part of this organization. They just did a great job, and they hit it out of the park. So there's a lot of people to thank, and I still have a ton of emails to reply to. So thanks again to everybody.
Thank you, Chief. Moving on to our service department and Tim Brown, our service director.
Good evening.
Good evening.
The service department is busy preparing for the winter season. Our equipment maintenance personnel are getting the plow truck set up for winter weather operations. Our concrete crew wrapped up the concrete slab replacement program for the season and is out doing some curb inlet repairs throughout the township. Other crews have been out performing ditch maintenance, cold patching, and storm sewer repairs. The service department responded to several flooding complaints due to the heavy rain event. We responded to an issue with a retention pond in the Camden Creek Estates. The outlet of the pond ended up being blocked due to beavers damming up the outlet, and we are working with the trapper to remove the beavers. The township received approximately 3.5 inches of rain during that event. 90% of the flooding issues were due to the volume of water received in a short period of time. The other 10% were sanitary sewer issues where were turned over to the Lake County Utilities Department. We continue to work with Lake County Stormwater Management to improve stormwater drainage. During Sunday's high winds, the service department responded to 3 call-outs for trees blocking roadways. Our personnel assisted the sheriff's department and fire department in setting up road closures where power lines were involved and removing trees from the road. The service department reminds residents of the annual leaf pickup on November 23rd, beginning at 6 a.m. Residents are encouraged to have their leaf bags out the night before. Major Waste plans on completing the pickup in one day, and there will not be any additional pickup dates. Our yard waste dumpster at the service department will still be available till November 30th at 2:30 p.m. The service department reminds residents too that with any questions, concerns, they can contact us at 440-350-3225 or email at concordtownship.com. We hope everyone has a safe and happy Thanksgiving at the end of the month, and that's all I have. Anybody have any questions?
No, thank you for your hard work recently with all these water issues in the township. Appreciate it. Moving on to our zoning department, Heather Freeman, our zoning director.
Good evening.
Good evening.
During the month of October, our office was fairly busy. We processed 46 zoning permit applications and collected just over $10,000 in application fees. Of those permits, 19 were approved for new single-family dwellings. 19 single-family dwellings. 11 accessory buildings, 4 fences, 3 decks, and several other small residential projects. Additionally, we approved a permit for a new retail building that's going to be located on Crowell Road between the Waffle House and Key Bank. They planned 3 separate units in there, although we don't know who the tenants are going to be, so stay tuned for a further update on that. Additionally, during the month of October, our office performed 70 inspections on open zoning permits and followed up on 14 new complaints. Next week, our Board of Zoning Appeals is actually going to meet on Tuesday rather than Wednesday, and we're going to have a public hearing for 3 separate variance requests. You can find the detailed agenda on the website. If you have any other questions, let me know.
Thank you, Heather. Moving on to recreation with Deborah Esker.
Good evening,
Good
everybody.
evening.
Although there are times when 2020 feels like it's caught in a time warp, it's kind of hard to believe it's November already. But as we head into the holiday season, I find there's a lot to celebrate and be thankful for, especially our Concord residents and the bright future in store for us all. So Rick, fire up that PowerPoint, please. There we go. Oops. Before I talk about all the things we got going on in November, I'd like to take a moment to thank our residents and guests who participated in our recent Halloween hunt around our beautiful township. There we go. Special thanks to our anchor partner locations for all the work they put into decorating and providing treats to make this event extra special. The rain did not stop our awesome location teams from festively decorating and fully embracing their treat provider responsibilities. So here's a big shout out to our anchor partners: Vista Springs Assisted Living Facility, Concord Alliance Church, Hope Ridge Methodist Church, St. Gabe Catholic Church, and the Goddard School of Concord. These organizations put forth a lot of effort to create safe and enjoyable drive-through experiences for the hunt, and they did a stellar job. There we go. Okay, in addition to our anchor partners, several other Concord businesses participated. Oh, that went too far. This is touchy tonight. In addition to our anchor partners, several other Concord businesses participated in handing out our treats. So we're sending out a big thank you to Lucky's Market, coming to Gristmill Village in the spring, Peace, Love, and Little Donuts, Crowell Road Hardware, the Waffle House, First Federal Lakewood Bank in Concord, Expert Nails, Wet Jet Power Wash, and the Shell gas station on Crowell Road. Great, there we go. And thank you to the Concord Township leadership and staff that made this event a success. Thanks for dedicating your time and enthusiasm to amp up the fun factor for our residents and guests, especially in a year that's maybe produced a little more tricks and treats. It was a fun event overall, so thank you to all who contributed and participated. November is a great time to focus on yourself before the rush of the holidays, and your recreation department is here to help. This month we offer the following classes with you and your family in mind: Baton for kids, martial arts for adults and kids, Pilates Yoga Fusion, Gentle Yoga is back, Pound is back, Tai Chi, a fall door tags craft class, and getting ready for retirement. And we continue to offer virtual classes in piano lessons for adults and ukulele lessons for adults and teens. For more information on all current classes or to register for classes online, just navigate to concordtwp.com or call the Recreation Department for immediate assistance. There we go. This November, we focus on a railroad theme for our newest series on local history called Won't You Meet Your Neighbor? Yesterday, we took a group of local fun seekers on a pop-up adventure to Liberty Hollow in Concord Township, where they followed part of the historic Underground Railroad route through Lake County on a half-mile evening lantern hike. And our next adventure is Tuesday, November 10th, when guests will visit the Painesville Railroad Depot and Museum and enjoy seeing the artifacts and the glory days of railroading past. Participants are asked to meet at the depot at 3:30 p.m. for this guided tour. These adventures are free, but pre-registration is absolutely mandatory so we can manage crowd size. Sign up at concordtwp.com or again, just call the Recreation Department for immediate assistance. Our senior socials continue on the first and third Wednesday of every month. This afternoon, Kaz and Company provided guests with a rollicking good time hosting an old-fashioned game of Trivial Pursuit. Our next senior social is scheduled for November 18th, but we're changing things up a bit. Instead of our traditional Friendsgiving gathering, we're celebrating Thanksgiving in a safe and creative way by our drive-by pumpkin pie program. Since we can't have the traditional holiday gathering, we invite our senior residents to stop by the community center for a holiday pie to take home and share with loved ones. But residents must pre-register, and they're encouraged to do it soon because pies are limited. There we go. I'm very happy to announce the community center will host 2 blood drives this November.
Please consider giving the gift of life this holiday season and sign up to donate blood on either November 6th or November 23rd from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. Did you know that giving blood is actually good for you? It improves overall cardiovascular function, enhances the production of new blood cells, and lowers the risk for certain health issues. Plus, each pint can help up to 3 different people. So please consider donating and sign up at redcrossblood.org to schedule your appointment. And November 11th is Veterans Day, so please remember to thank a veteran for bravely doing what they were called to do so that we can safely do what we are free to do. We don't know them all, but we owe them all. And it's easy to stay informed on Township News. Start by reading the Grapevine newsletter. Thank you. Start by reading the Grapevine newsletter and subscribing to our monthly email newsletter, the eGrapevine. You can also download the Concord app and visit our highly informative website. Follow us on social media platforms, including Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, or simply pick up the phone and call for immediate assistance. And finally, in closing, there we go. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. May we all find joy in being grateful for the things we have, but more importantly, the wonderful people in our lives. Thanks, everybody, and thank you, Concord residents.
Thank you, Deborah. Moving on to Concord Law Enforcement. This evening we have Captain Warner. It's okay.
Good evening. On behalf of Sheriff Frank Leonborough, congratulations on your successful passing of the fire levy. We appreciate that with our partnership, and he wanted to send his congratulations, and I was low man on the pole today, so and I live the closest, so it's a little easier for me, and I don't mind doing this.
Well, thank you.
So I do want, on a personal note, I think you all did a good job. Did what you said you were going to do, and very pleased. Nice to see that.
Thank you. Thank you.
So we had a total of 991 calls for service. You had 2 injury accidents, 13 property damages. We had 58 alarms. That's a lot. We had 16 citations, but of those citations, 6 of them were in school zone. Please slow down. It's 20 miles an hour. That's our future. We don't want them hurt. Take it easy. Had 113 warnings, so most of them were Concord residents. We try to just give them an idea. Sometimes they forget. And we can all get that way when we get in a little bit of a hurry. Had 7 of them driving under suspension, 1 DUI, had 74 business checks, and 93 crime preventions, where they went into a business, working to privately try to resolve some type of issue and just make a presence. It's hard to do with limited manpower, but we do our best to give service to the communities. Any questions?
No, thank you very much.
No problem. Thanks.
Okay, moving on to our audience portion this evening. We do not have anybody on the phone with us this evening. Anybody here at Town Hall wish to participate in the audience portion? Okay, seeing none, we will move on to old business. And seeing that we have old business, we'll move on to new business. With us this evening, we have Rick Summers from the Summers Development Group.
No. Financial report, October.
Oh, jumped in order there.
You jumped.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, I did. We will start off with a vote for the October financial report. I missed that.
I move that we approve the October financial report.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, now with us this evening is Rick Summers from the Summers Development Group regarding some potential plan modifications from the Eagle Point RCD. Rick, if you'd like to step up. Thank you. Good evening.
We're asking this board to approve the original or to approve a change to the original RCD plan. We've re-engineered this, and we have come up with a new design by moving the road to the right side, from the right side to the left side of the entrance to the subdivision for approximately 900 feet. We can improve our impact on the creek and the stream and some wetlands.
So, is there a map available? Or do you want me to hold one up?
You guys all have the
Yes,
copies,
we
right?
all have our copy. I didn't know if you want it on the screen. Okay. By moving the road from the left side to the left side, rather, we're able to minimize the stream disturbance from 275 lineal feet down to 80 lineal feet. We are still proposing to use a three-sided box culvert, as this stream has a rock bottom, and we can preserve the stream life in that with the box culvert. We've minimized the wetland disturbance down to 0.088 acres, which is an improvement. Again, a significant reduction in wetland and stream impacts. The second culvert, there's some issues with using a three-sided box culvert in that there's no aquatic stream life in that area. It's all mud. We're asking for a change to a 36-inch round culvert. This is for purposes of maintenance. We've discussed with the Lake County engineer and with Soil and Water and the Storm Division. We feel that this is a better long-term maintenance plan on that culvert. We are willing to submit a modified landscape plan so that the east side of the property will be buffered from the adjacent neighbor. And that's not mine. It's on silent.
Thank you for your service.
That's basically the minor modification we're asking for. And I'd be glad to answer any questions that you may have about this situation. Morgan?
With, yeah, I know under this initial that we're kind of looking at here as far as where you're moving the road. We have a couple of issues with respect to, and you talked, if you could just take us through the aspect of what you're doing here with the stream and this retention pond and some of the, and then basically that retention pond is behind lots or sublot 43 through 46. If you could kind of, I know we talked a little bit about that not being, with the mounding that you're going to do, talk about some of the changes you're proposing there.
That, as drawn, this plan does not meet the required 30-foot wetland setback. So I worked with Ms. Freeman in the zoning department, and we will submit a plan that complies with zoning. We will not ask for a variance. We can do that. We're going to re-engineer that, and that would be approved administratively, I assume, through the township, and then the Lake County Planning Commission, the engineer, and Soil and Water and Storm Management will all have to approve that as part of the stormwater plan for the subdivision.
And that's going to go, I mean, I think just to recap the conversation we had earlier as far as your approximation there, that you're figuring right now on this estimation on the high side, and you have the room to play with making those adjustments. And I think we were also noting some adjustments on the other retention pond that you talked about from the two plans. So you feel you have the room to comply and everything's going to wash out there.
These ponds are currently oversized to allow for any sedimentation during the construction process. Again, we need to engineer this, and that will be part of the next approval process. This is a modification of the RCD plan that you approved previously.
Okay.
I would like the residents to know that the board did meet with Mr. Summers during office hours this evening, and we did go through each one of these proposed changes to the plan with our zoning staff, Heather Freeman, and we went through those to make sure that they were appropriate and reasonable, and we'll continue to monitor that.
I just wanted to confirm that behind, moving to the left, you were considering a mound and landscaping behind those?
There will be one between the edge of the right of way on Colburn Road to the north property line of lot number 4 on the right side. That will be approximately a 3-foot mound.
with a mixture of pine trees and deciduous trees, similar to the one on the north side.
Thank you, Mr. Summers. So we will need a vote to approve the amended residential conservation district development preliminary plan submitted by Colburn Road Development LLC for the property located on Colburn Road and currently known as permanent parcel number 08-A-002-B-00-018-0 and 08-A-001-2-B-00-009-0 and as presented and included as part of tonight's record and further subject to the subsequent approval of a new landscape plan to be submitted by the developer.
Mr. Chairman, I move, I'll make that motion.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Summers. Moving on to future meetings and announcements. Mrs. Dawson.
Thank you, Mr. Dondorfer. On Monday, November 6th, from 10 to 3 p.m., there'll be the blood drive at the Concord Community Center. Tuesday, November 10th at 7 p.m., BZA meeting here at Town Hall. Wednesday, November 11th, we're closed in observance of Veterans Day. Wednesday, November 18th, 6:30 p.m., office hours here in our conference room, and 7:30 p.m., trustee meeting here at Town Hall.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Dawson. And again, Concord Township, thank you again for all your support. We hope you are well and stay healthy. And we'll see you at our next meeting. That concludes our meeting tonight. Thank you.